Welcome to Adhvaitha, and in this video we will go beyond the teachings of law of attraction to truly master conscious creation. We will understand the power of conscious creation and we will understand how it is different from the typical law of attraction and manifestation teachings. We will also understand how we can design our lives and consciously create our lives the way in which we actually want to live. And when it comes to conscious creation, there are four important elements or points in the journey of an individual. It is extremely important to understand these 4 points. And these 4 points are unconscious living, unconscious creation, conscious living, and conscious creation. First, let us understand unconscious living. This is the state in which most of the people are in. They don't understand the nature of reality and they simply exist through their unconscious thought patterns without realizing their infinite potential. They unconsciously create their reality and hence they are the victims of their destiny and their reality. This is the point in which all of us start. This is the place of absolute ignorance. We don't understand the nature of reality, we don't understand what consciousness is, we don't understand the power of our thoughts and our emotions, and we simply unconsciously live our lives without any purpose. This is unconscious living. Now, let us talk about the second step. The second step is unconscious creation. This is where when one understands the teachings of law of attraction. This is when you maybe picked up a book, whether it is The Secret or teaching similar to that, which basically explain to us the power of our intentions, thoughts and feelings. This is where we understand the power of our thoughts, our emotions, our belief systems, and this is where we understand how we are unconsciously creating our lives the way we don't want it to be. And instead, we begin to take control of our realities by consciously monitoring and consciously directing our attention to the place where we want it to go. But this is also a dangerous place to be. This is because the typical law of attraction teachings don't go deep enough. They only talk about one aspect of reality, and giving this teaching to an unconscious person is like empowering the ego. We are not our ego. We are the infinite consciousness. The teachings of Advaitha Vedanta tells us that this universe is a projection in pure consciousness, and all there is in this universe is pure consciousness. And all of us are the expressions of that divine consciousness. We are not separate from each other, but instead we are simply the masks or the instruments that is being used by that infinite consciousness temporarily. There is oneness in everyone and everything, and we all come from the same source and we all go to the same source. When we do not understand who we truly are and we identify ourselves with the body and mind, and then when we get empowered by the teaching of law of attraction, it becomes dangerous. And also in many cases, for many people, the law of attraction teachings simply do not work. If you look on the internet, there are many critics and there is a lot of criticism to the teachings of law of attraction. And this criticism is valid. It is because the teachings in The Secret are incomplete. So it is very important for us to be conscious before we practice the power of manifestation and before we start manifesting different things and situations into our lives. This is because most of the times we don't know what we truly want. We have some vague vision for our lives, and this is usually for the ego gratification. We look at the society, we look at our friends and relatives, and our aspirations and desires are simply based on the expectations of the society. In many cases, what we desire may not be actually good for us in the long run. This is why unconscious manifestation, which is the second step, is a dangerous place to be. And this is why even after manifesting wealth, money and relationships, many people suffer. And this is also the reason why in many cases the law of attraction teachings simply do not work, because that infinite intelligence knows what's best for you. With that, let us talk about step 3. This is conscious living. This is a very good place to be. This is a place in which a person or an individual has understood the power of pure consciousness. Here, a person has understood what this reality actually is, as explained by the ancient Upanishads, as explained by Buddhism, as explained by many teachers and teachings. This universe is an expression of that pure consciousness, and it is a projection in that pure consciousness. So, the primary substance of this universe is that pure consciousness, and me, you, and everybody is that pure consciousness. The separation and duality that we perceive is because of our minds. In reality, there is absolute oneness as per the teachings of Vedanta. And once a person comes to this understanding, even intellectually at first, a lot of relief and a lot of fulfillment comes to him, because he is out of the rat race. He is not trying to impress anyone, because there is no one but himself. And here a person also realizes karma and Brahma. Karma is the principle of cause and effect. Since there is absolute oneness in this universe and there is no separation, when someone does something bad to another, he is doing bad to himself at the deepest level. This is karma. And Brahma is the principle of pure infinite consciousness, which is all pervading and eternal. With this understanding, one can simply continue to live his life the way he used to live, but by detaching himself from the outcomes of his action and by detaching himself from the world outside of him. This is the place of conscious living. Here, a person need not wish to manifest anything, because he can simply find fulfillment in whatever he has. But beyond this state, let us talk about the fourth step, which is conscious creation. This comes after conscious living and understanding the principles of conscious living. Now, I need to make it clear that everyone need not choose conscious creation. Some people, after understanding the nature of reality and the nature of consciousness, can simply continue to live their life the way they wish with that understanding, by being detached from the world and by simply finding joy in living. But for those of us who want to create something in this universe, for those of us who want to impact this society in a positive way, and for those of us who want to create abundance for ourselves, for our families, and for the society as a whole, then let us talk about the fourth and the most important step, which is conscious creation. So we already discussed what consciousness is, and we already understood that we are that pure consciousness at the deepest level. And the nature of this consciousness is that it is infinite, it is abundant, and it is eternal. But right now, without this knowledge, we have identified ourselves with this body and mind. And because of this identification, we think that we are limited and we are suffering the consequences of it. All the limitations, obstacles, and the problems that we face in the world is because we don't understand who we truly are. We don't understand what this universe actually is. Once we understand what it is, we can consciously begin to create our lives the way we actually want to live. Now, when it comes to conscious creation, there are some terms that you need to understand, and these are Sanskrit terms, and I'll translate them and I'll explain how it is all connected. The first term is karma that we looked at earlier. Karma is simply cause and effect. Basically, your mind remembers the past actions, and as per the teachings of Hinduism, the mind or the subtle body of an individual goes through many lifetimes, and it passes through different physical bodies. And every action, every intention, every emotion, and every thought which was performed by that subtle body is remembered by that subtle body, and the net data or memory which is accumulated after thousands and thousands of years of evolution and reincarnation is karmic memory. And this karmic memory, because of its nature, has created a certain kind of a personality for you today, for this life. And the way you are, your body, your default personality, all of this is because of your past karma. And this karma is controlling your life, and it has created a set destination for your life. This is how karma works. Because of the karma that you have a certain kind of vasanas. Vasanas are simply subtle tendencies that each of us have at the deepest level. So I am a certain kind of a person. You are a certain kind of a person at the deepest level. This is because of your vasanas. This is because of your tendencies. And because of your vasanas, you have a certain kind of a personality today. And this personality has different samskaras. Samskaras are behavioral traits. There are kind people, there are angry people, there are generous people, there are stingy people. These are behavioral traits or samskaras that each one of us hold within ourselves. All this comes from the vasanas, and vasanas come because of our past karma. And because of our samskaras, we behave in a certain way, we think certain kinds of thoughts, and we feel certain kinds of emotions every single day. And all of this together are forming new samskaras that is going and integrating into our personality. And these actions and thoughts and emotions are also creating a certain kind of life for us in this lifetime. Because of our current samskaras and because of our current thought patterns and because of our current actions, a certain kind of life is created for us. And since we are that infinite consciousness, our thoughts, emotions and intentions are being empowered by that pure consciousness. So whatever thoughts we think, whatever emotions we feel, and whatever actions we perform, it is being empowered by that consciousness. And the universe is simply reflecting back our own limitations, our own belief systems. So this universe is simply showing us what we believe about ourselves. This is what we need to understand. Now at this point, we also need to talk about Dharma. Dharma in Sanskrit has many meanings, but I talk about Dharma in this way. By Dharma, I mean purpose, morality and responsibility. We all need a purpose to live our lives by. We need a purpose which is bigger than ourselves, which is good for the society, through which we are contributing for the betterment of the world. At the same time, Dharma is also morality. We need to understand what is right and what is wrong. And we must never do something to someone else which we don't want ourselves to experience. And third is responsibility. We all have different responsibilities as a citizen of a country, as a family member, as a father, as a brother, etc. So we need to take responsibility of who we are. And we need to take responsibility of our lives, and we need to acknowledge that whatever we face in our life is our responsibility, and whatever we created for ourselves is our responsibility. This is the first step. By understanding Dharma and by understanding the principles that we have discussed so far, we can start to consciously come out of unconscious thought patterns. Then we can design our lives the way we actually want to live. And we can also build a vision for our lives that is inspiring. And then we can intentionally start moving towards that ideal personality by disidentifying ourselves with the current personality, realizing ourselves to be that infinite pure consciousness, and then moving on to a new ideal personality which is compatible of the success that you seek. This is how conscious creation works. So it is very important for society to understand conscious creation and understand conscious living. Through this, we can achieve absolute fulfillment and live our lives with a purpose by serving the world. I hope this was valuable to you. If you want to go deeper into the aspects of karma, brahma and dharma, you can join our community cum learning platform, the Adhvaitha Conscious Society, where we have in-depth programs and a community which are all designed to help you create your life consciously the way you truly want to live. You can visit adhvaitha.com to find more information on this. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and I'll see you on the next one. If you liked the video, check out this next and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you and welcome to our community.